guys, I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building another house, and this one was actually very heavily inspired by a picture that I saw on Pinterest. So at least the exterior of it, or the facade of it, because I don't actually know what the original house looks like from the back. It's often like that with Pinterest pictures. You don't really, like a lot of them, unless they're house plans or floor plans or stuff like that, you can't actually see what the houses look like from the back, so you kind of just have to figure out like what to do on your own, which I also like because I don't like to copy houses from Pinterest. I like to add my own twist on it, or twist to it. Well, that makes sense somewhere in the world. Anyways, so that is what we're doing today. We're building this pretty basic suburban house. At least in my opinion, I feel like it's pretty basic. I was trying to do something new with the not the floor plan, the color scheme of the interior, actually, because it's very dark, but it's like, it's kind of black and white, but not it's more like gray and white and light wood, so like a light beige brown, sort of, if that makes any sense. So you'll see that once we get to the interior. I also try to take inspiration for the color scheme for the exterior to start out with, because I was really drawn towards the green windows on the original house, but it just, I didn't feel like it looked good, so I ended up changing it, and that was what kind of inspired the interior color scheme as well. So I think I ended up changing it from like a darker brown, maybe a little bit more of a warmer brown, to this sort of beige brown that you'll see later on. So I like how this house turned out though, and I hope you guys like it too. But yeah, let me know what you think. So the house is for 2 parents and a teen and also a kid. There is, like, at some point, I end up putting a high chair in the dining room. Just ignore that. I fixed it for the screenshots because I thought that I was going to make one of the rooms for a toddler, and then I changed my mind once I got to it, and I ended up making it for a kid instead. So I thought, like, yeah, I thought when I started out that there was going to be a toddler living in this house, but no, it's for a kid. Of course, if you decide to play in this house, if you download it from the gallery, you can just do whatever you want with it. If you want to change the entire color scheme of the interior, you can do that. If you want to redecorate anything, you can do that as well. And especially if it doesn't really suit your family, but you still want to play in the house, you can redecorate. That's what it's called. Redecorate the bedrooms completely so they fit your family. And I am completely okay with that. Like, I think I say that not often, but I've said it enough for you guys to know it's okay if you decide to completely redecorate everything. I am completely okay with that. It's been a bit of a funny day because I completely, like, I majorly overslept this morning because yesterday just to get this personal rant out of the way, anyways, before we get to the interior, I always suck at talking about the exteriors of my build. Like, I don't really know what to say. So, for example, here we are adding some wallpaper to the house, and I started out with brown and then I changed it to another color. It's not the most exciting thing to talk about. So with the exteriors, I kind of struggle a little bit to figure out exactly what to talk about when it comes to the build. So I just want to talk about some personal stuff. Anyways, so it's been a bit of a weird day because I completely overslept this morning, and I don't really know if I should call it morning because it definitely was not morning anymore when I woke up. But anyways, so because yesterday I slept like 5 hours, which is not enough. If you sleep less than 5 hours, you need to sleep more. If you sleep less than 6 hours, you need to sleep more. Yeah, it happened because I had to get up and go work out in the morning, so I didn't really get a lot of sleep. And then yesterday I went to bed way too late because I'm stupid. That happens quite often as well. So anyways, I overslept. And my dad came over because we had to hang up a lamp in the dining area of the common room, because I have like both kitchen and dining area, and also the living room is in the same room. And I haven't had any light in that room unless apart from the kitchen area, because there are a few lamps in the kitchen or a few lights in the kitchen. I haven't had a lamp in the dining area or the living room area, whatever. So that was nice. I now don't have to walk around with my flashlight in the middle of the night when I go to bed. So it took quite a long time, but at least now I have a lamp in my living room / dining area / whatever the heck that room is called, because I honestly don't know. We call it a køkkenelrum in Danish, because it's like kitchen plus dining room plus, so it's like an all room. That doesn't make any sense in English, but that's what we call it in Danish. For those of you who have been asking me to teach you some Danish in my voiceovers, there you go, elrum. Good luck trying to figure out how to pronounce that. So, but yeah, it's just been a bit of a weird day because in my head it's still like 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock, but it's already dark outside and technically it's 7 o'clock, but that's what happens when you oversleep. Do you guys get the same? Like, it's just your brain can't fully figure, it's like being jet lagged basically because you just woke up at the wrong time and suddenly your daily schedule is completely off. It just can't fully figure it out. So yeah, that's been a bit of a struggle today, but it's all right. I think I am probably going to, well, for this week actually, I planned on making videos for both Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I was going to skip Thursday and then have videos up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there'll be no video tomorrow. I might do some streaming tonight if that's of any interest. So definitely keep an eye on Twitter or Discord or possibly the community tab, and I'll let you guys know if I decide to stream or not. It depends a little bit because I think I'm going to start the video for Thursday after, or not Thursday, for Friday after this video goes live. So definitely keep an eye on those different places if you are interested in watching me stream or come talk to me or something. It's been a while since I've streamed again, I think. Or since I streamed the last time, I think it was last week at some point, maybe like Tuesday, Thursday, I don't remember, but it's been a while, so I promised that I'd do a bit more streaming, but it's just difficult to find the time sometimes. So I think maybe tonight, definitely keep an eye on those places if you are interested. But anyways, so for this house, as you can see, we are getting through the exterior by now. I decided to swap the green out with, like the green windows out with the black ones instead. So we have black shutters, and I liked to, like I figured it would look cool to add yellow flowers to this landscaping because yellow and black is, I'm kind of liking that color combination these days. It reminds me a bit of a warning sign, I'm not gonna lie. But I still like it. I like the contrast between the two colors. So, or black is not really a color, but I like the contrast between the two. So I decided to go for yellow for the landscaping around this house, and I really like how it turned out, to be honest. I think the yellow goes really well with the light wood swatch as well that I went with for parts of the house because I did mix it up. So I added some woods, but I also added some rock, and I think the rock is from Seasons. And where is the wood panels from? The siding? That's from Cats and Dogs. So that's one thing I like to do with exteriors. I like to add different kinds of textures. So it's not all wood panels or wood siding. I like to add a little bit of rock in there or possibly brick or something like that. So add a couple of different textures. It looks really nice together. It's like when you're like making an all black outfit. You want to add different textures so it's not all like soft materials, if that makes any sense. So I do the same with houses, basically. I think there are some shingles in there as well that are supposed to be white, but they're actually like a very light gray. They're not really white. I don't know if that's the bug or whatever, if they just decided to make the whites what you can see right here. It's from Cats and Dogs too, but it's supposed to be white because the swatch in the catalog is white, but when you place it on a house, it's actually gray. I don't really know. It's always been like that, but I always found it weird. That's why I rarely use those sidings because they're not completely white, and I like to use the white siding, so I often go for the one with the rounded shingles on it instead, also because it looks really cute. But for this house, I decided to go for one of the other ones because I figured it would actually look really good with a swatch of the rock. So it went okay. So I was having a few issues with the floor plan, not going to lie, because the sunroom or whatever you call that kind of room is on the left side of the house. But I really wanted to place the kitchen on the right side of the house. However, I like to connect the two. So the sunroom, in my builds, they're usually connected to either the living room or the kitchen because then I can place a dining room in the sunroom or I can place the sort of second living room in the sunroom. So instead of your Sims just going to the standard living room, they go to the sunroom instead. So during the summer or possibly during the winter, I'm not gonna judge, whenever your Sims want to sit in a room that's maybe a little bit more sunny, has a little bit more sun coming through the windows, they can go to the sunroom instead of just sitting in the standard living room. But all the common rooms are on the right side of the build and the sunroom is on the left side. So I was having a few issues with that. It annoyed me so much. I also didn't know where to put the staircase. The upstairs is actually like the second floor is a very small floor because the sunroom doesn't have a second floor, so there's nothing above the sunroom. And I also only placed a very small second floor above the common areas, so both above the kitchen, the living room, and also the dining room. So the second floor is just very small, and staircases tend to take up a lot of space in The Sims. So that was a little bit of an issue, but I think I figured it out. I actually liked how this floor plan turned out in the end. I think there's a nice flow through the floor plan, if that makes sense. So basically you can get to the back door really quickly from the front door. You just have to go through the sunroom. They do have an office that's open, so it doesn't have closed off doors, but that's because to get to the sunroom from the living room, you have to go through the office. So I didn't want to put closed doors there, and I don't know, it just kind of made sense to me. But you'll probably have to keep in mind, like, if you think about this realistically, I think it would be super annoying if one of the parents actually used the office as like their home office. So if they work in business or I don't know, some kind of other business where they have to work from home, like a writer or something like that, it would probably be super annoying for them to work in that room with people walking through all the time. So just keep that in mind, but I don't think your Sims will mind too much, to be honest. They tend to not get bothered by like noise and stuff unless they're trying to sleep. So if they're just sitting at the computer trying to work, they don't really think about it. Luckily, it works like that. So because the office is right next to the living room where there is a quite large TV. So if that's on and someone's trying to work in the office, personally, I'd probably be a little bit annoyed, but the Sims don't mind, so it's okay. So this is pretty much the color scheme that we ended up going with. I did add a little bit of color in the dining room with the rug and also in the office with a rug as well. So there's a little bit of green and a little bit of brown in the dining room, and then in the office there is like a slight bit of very dark blue. And that's just because it got a little bit too colorless for my liking. I needed there to be just a little bit besides plants because we do end up putting, I want to say, a fair amount of plants throughout this house. I think I was still kind of on a high after doing the plant mom apartment, which was the last video I put up on the channel yesterday. So I was like, plants, 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 we need more plants. And I just kind of ended up putting a few plants here and there, like empty corners or on empty tables or stuff like that. So there's a couple of hallway tables here and there with a couple of plants. There's also, I'm actually using one of the really, one of the base game plants is really difficult to use. I think I explained that on stream, the last time I streamed, because it's really pretty. It came with the Caribbean update or Caribbean, whatever you want to call that. So it's one of the prettiest plants in the game in my opinion, but because the leaves just kind of stick out a little bit too much, it's really difficult to find place for it or find room for it around the house. But I think I ended up using that a couple of places, and I don't know, it's just a really beautiful plant. I wish I had a plant like that for my office. I think it would look gorgeous over in the corner. I've been watching way too much True Blood, so I'm sorry Lafayette, I just stole your gorgeous. Anyways. So by the way, guys, it has been, I think, a week since the last time I did an autumnal house. If that's something you want to see more of here on the channel, definitely let me know. I am still not over red, orange, and brown, and we're also not completely over fall yet. Like, it just started 2 weeks ago, so it's still here. Definitely let me know if that's something you want to see more of, because I am all over that. I am so up for making more autumnal houses. I love those colors. Also, by the way, now that we're at the kitchen, yes, I did forget a sink in yesterday's video. That has never happened before, I don't think, and I'm kind of mortified because I remember building the apartment. I remember decorating the apartment, and I got to the kitchen and I felt like something was off, but I couldn't really figure it out. Like, I had too much room to place clutter in the kitchen and I didn't really know what I'd missed. So that was mortifying. Yes, it was mortifying. I forgot a sink and I'm not over it. I'll never get over it. It'll never happen again. It probably will, but no, it won't anyways. So yes, I did forget a sink. Also, just as I talked about my lamp being, I have a lamp in the living room or dining room, whatever, that room, the wire just fell down. So that happened. I now have a wire going all the way from the kitchen to the dining area. So that's really pretty, or I don't know what to do about it right now. I'm just going to get through this voiceover and then I will figure it out afterwards. So for the living room, just ignore that there's way too many bookcases at some point. I do realize it took up too much space in the living room, so I decided to delete 2 of them. I put in a hallway table instead, possibly with either a mirror or a picture above it. I'd put 2 pictures from fitness stuff pack actually above the hallway table, because I just realized that it was a little bit too much. Like, the bookcases were a little bit too much. You guys know I love to put bookcases basically just about everywhere in my builds because I really love bookcases. I've said this multiple times, but I grew up in a house that was just filled with bookcases. We had bookcases just about everywhere. So I like to put them, I don't discriminate, I like to put them everywhere in my builds, either the hallway or the entryways of the first house or the first room you enter once you enter the house. I like to put them in bedrooms as well, or, living rooms, whatever. They're just everywhere, but it was a little bit too much. They took up a little bit too much space in this living room, so I swapped out 2 of them, and I hope that's okay. So we're using the 2 from Moschino Stuff Pack, actually. I do love those. I think they are so pretty. They're kind of like high-end IKEA bookcases, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like they look like the shelf unit I have behind me quite a lot. They're just a little bit prettier, so I like to use those. They also have the most gorgeous plant on them. Unfortunately, we don't have that plant separated, which is a shame because it's like it's a hanging plant, sort of like half of it is hanging down the shelf and it looks gorgeous. I wish we had a plant like that in The Sims. That would be so beautiful. But unfortunately, we don't. Maybe sometime in the future, who knows? We can always hope. But anyways, so they do have a toilet here on the ground floor. I figured that would be important just because it's a little bit annoying, like, once you enter the house, the first bathroom you can get to is on the 2nd floor. I don't know, I feel like I would be annoyed if that was me. I actually used to live in a house like that, so you'd kind of have to rush from the front door upstairs to the bathroom because you always have to pee when you get home. You guys know how it is, or maybe that's just me, I don't really know. Anyways, so yeah, they do have a bathroom right by the front door. There's no bath in there. You guys told me that it was called a half bath then, I think. If I recall correctly, that's what I was told it was called, but I also call them powder rooms just because there's no bath in there, there's no shower, it's just a toilet and a sink, but I could be wrong about that. There's also a laundry room here on the ground floor as well, and I think I decorated that on cam, but I didn't include pictures of it by the end of the video just because the room was way too small to take pictures of. It's a 2x2 room, so I didn't really know what to do with the camera, to be honest. Plus, it's just, we only got 2 windows in there and 2 machines. It's not the most exciting picture or the most exciting room to take pictures of. I had to delete this aquarium or fish tank, whatever you want to call that, just because it was taking up too much space. But I decided to turn this sunroom into more of like a hangout room for the family. So they do have the board games over here. I do move those over to the other side of the room actually, and then I moved the foosball table to the left side of the room. I don't really know why I did that, but it made sense in the moment. It's not really important anyways. And then I deleted the fish tank and put in a couch instead. So they have this sort of like a hangout room for the family. Yeah, I think that would be kind of nice if they like to play games together, or maybe one of the kids or the teen or the kid can have friends over. They can play some foosball together or something like that. I just feel like it's nice to have some activities for the families to do together. It's not often that I include those items either because I think they are a little bit difficult to find place for. Sometimes if I have like a fake garage or something, I'll either turn it into this sort of area, or possibly like a hangout area for the family. I've also done like a man's cave at some point, I think, or something like that, I think, yeah. And sometimes I'll also just turn them into a garage, even though we don't have cars. But you know, one can always dream. You never know. We may get cars at some point. Actually, I don't really mind too much since they unlocked the world objects, actually, because I don't think cars would be that exciting to play with anyways, unless they did like car woohoo or something like that, like a car makeout session. That would be kind of fun. But other than that, like I don't really know. I don't really need them for gameplay. I don't need to see my Sims drive off to work or anything like that. I would just want them for the fun stuff, basically. So I'm okay. Like I'm okay having just the world object cars because they look pretty, at least the vast majority of them. It would be nice to have like a supercar or something like that. I think that would be really good for big fancy mansions, and you know, but it's cool. We got a nice selection and all that stuff, but we're not why are we talking about cars? There's no car in this house or in this build. They don't have a garage. It's completely pointless. Stop talking about cars. Anyways, we have moved on from the parents' bedroom actually, and also their ensuite bathroom. So the teen and the kid do share a bathroom that looks exactly like the parents' one. It's just on the opposite side, basically, because I had room for 2 bathrooms on the second floor, so I thought it would make sense for the parents to have an ensuite. I think it's been a while since the last time I gave the parents their own ensuite. For some reason, I've gotten into the habit of giving the teen an ensuite bathroom, even though the parents pay for the house. You kind of think that they would want to benefit off of that, but you never know. Maybe the parents, you know, like to spoil the teen or something. So, but in this case, or in this house, I decided to give the ensuite to the parents instead. So they have a nice little private bathroom there, but it looks exactly like the other one, to be honest. Like the exact same items. I did clutter them a little bit differently from each other, but all the items are the exact same. So it's a very basic me bathroom. So, and the last room that we are decorating on cam, because I did decide to decorate the other bathroom off cam since it just looked like the other, like the parents' bathroom. It didn't really make sense to me to include it. So that was the last room that I decorated before moving on to the interior, or this room's last room I decorated before moving on to the interior. So it's the kids' bedroom, and I do feel like it's a bit on the smaller side. I think it's a 3x4, so I didn't really have that much room to deal with or to play around with, but they do have basically everything they should need in here. They have a dresser, or wardrobe, I think it's called when it's tall like this. And then they also have a mirror, they have a big plushie they can play with, and also the medical set, or whatever that's called. Some toys on the ground. I did try to fit in a dollhouse, and I did size it down ones, but the dollhouses are just way too big. They take up so much space, and I don't think... Do they need the dollhouses when they can play with the plushie? They don't like for skill purposes, they don't technically need it, I think. So I feel like I should get better at including the drawing tables, because they need those for creative skill, but I often just forget about them actually. I don't really know why. There's just something about the drawing tables that it doesn't really fit together, because I love to do like creative teen bedrooms or apartments for creative young adults or stuff, but when it comes to children, I just completely forget about that skill. So my houses don't fit together, obviously, but that's okay. Or my builds don't fit together, but it's okay anyway. So you can still teach yourself creativity once you turn into a teen. It's all good. So yeah, that was the last room that we decorated. I think it turned out okay. They do have, yeah, everything they should need, and it's a little bit cluttered up there, and I like it, kind of, maybe. I don't really know. Anyways, moving on to the backyard. So the backyard took me just about no time to do, which is also why we don't have a lot of time left in this video, but I just didn't have a lot of space left to play around with, actually. So they do have a pool here. I do end up putting some lounge chairs for the Sims to enjoy the sun in as well, and then also a slide for the kid. I think I forgot to change the color of it, but I don't think it matters too much, to be honest. Like, I don't mind a mismatchy swing, because it's a children's thing. Like, it doesn't have to match the rest of the house perfectly, but you can definitely change the swatch of it if you want to. I think it would go really well in either white or yellow, but I don't know, it's up to you guys. And they also have a couple of plant pots and also a grill area on the back terrace or back porch, whatever that area is called. So they have a few things to do outside as well, and I think that's about it. So yeah, definitely let me know if there's anything you want to see here on the channel in the comment section down below. I do tend to screenshot and then later write down all your ideas, so just go ham. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT, and all the information about the house is in the description down below. I think all the cheats that I use should be there as well as the links to my social media and also to my Discord server, which you should definitely join if you haven't already. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!
Right now I'm standing in a corner. I see you from across the room. It's kinda crowded here, but I know you see me too. Everybody's singing, oh, everybody's singing, oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in the way you move. Just say you want me to. We got nothing to lose. You're looking so old. You're looking so old. Now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, let me love you.